भाई, मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री चल रहा था हमारा। पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इस्टेब्लिशमेंट बिफोर कांग्रेस, ठीक है। सो नाउ बॉम्बे प्रेसिडेंसी एसोसिएशन वाज इस्टेब्लिश्ड बाय ई, मतलब कि इन सब में से ज़्यादा लोग हैं। In 1885, the Bombay Presidency Association was founded by the Firoz Shah Mehta, K.T. Talang, Baruddin Taibji. Its objective was to submit memoranda representation for Indian representation and political reform under the British rule to oppose the discriminatory policy of the British government। तो इसका आंसर हो गया ई, मतलब मोर देन वन ऑफ द एबव, क्योंकि दो तीन बंदे हो गए ना, फिरोज शाह मेहता, के टी तलंग, बरुद्दीन तैयबजी, तो पहले के फर्स्ट ए बी एंड डी हो गए, ठीक है। हु वाज द फाउंडर ऑफ द इंडियन एसोसिएशन? सुरेंद्र नाथ बनर्जी, ठीक है। तो इन 26 जुलाई 1876 सुरेंद्र नाथ बनर्जी with the help of Anand Mohan Bose founded the Indian Association in Calcutta. It was the most important among the contemporary organization and before the Congress, ठीक है। It was regarded as an all India organization. This organization demanded reform in the civil services examination system and launched the movement on issues such as controversies like the Ilward Bill in the Indian Association or Bharat Sabha. The middle class were given the priority over the zamindars. Who led the Indian Association? भाई, सुरेंद्र नाथ बनर्जी भी हैं, आनंद मोहन बोस भी हैं, ठीक है, तो ई हो जाएगा। हु इस्टेब्लिश इंडियन एसोसिएशन इन 1876? सुरेंद्र नाथ बनर्जी। द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट ऑफ द प्री कांग्रेस नेशनलिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वाज इंडियन एसोसिएशन ऑफ कलकत्ता। द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट बोल रहा है, प्री कांग्रेस नेशनलिस्ट organization. The Madras Mahajan Sabha was established in the year 1884, जो कि इसमें ऑप्शन नहीं है, ठीक है। By M. Veera Raghavachari, C. G. Subramaniam Iyer, P. Anand Charlu and S. Ramaswamy Mudaliar। ये दोनों को जोड़ दो भाई, जोड़ दो क्या, डायरेक्ट हम आंसर ही देखते हैं। इंडियन एसोसिएशन सुरेंद्र नाथ बनर्जी, पूना सार्वजनिक सभा महादेव गोविंद रांडे, बॉम्बे प्रेसिडेंसी एसोसिएशन दादा भाई नेहरूजी, मद्रास महाजन सभा एम वीरा रघुवचारी, ठीक है। अब इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस, ठीक है। हाउ मैनी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव टुक पार्ट इन द फर्स्ट सेशन ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस? 72, ठीक है। ये इसके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ लेते हैं, ठीक है। तो द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वाज फाउंडेड इन 1885 बाय A.O. Hume, a retired British officer. Its first session was held on 28 to 30 December 1885 at the Gokul Das Tejpal Sanskrit College in Bombay. A total of 72 delegates participated, 38 from the Bombay province, 21 from the Madras, 3 from Bengal, 7 from a northwestern province and Awadh Pradesh, मतलब यूपी है अब, and 3 from the Punjab. The first session of the Indian National Congress was presided over the Umesh Chandra Banerjee and its general secretary was A.O. Hume himself. In 1885 AD, where was the first session of the Indian National Congress held? कहाँ हुआ था? मुंबई में. When was the Indian National Congress set up? 1885 में. The Indian National Congress was founded by A.O. Hume. Who was the founder of the Indian National Congress? A.O. Hume. The founder of the Indian National Congress एक सिविल सर्वेंट था. The first conference of Indian National Congress was held in Mumbai. The second session of the Indian National Congress was presided over by किसके द्वारा? दादा भाई नेहरूजी. The second session of the Congress was held in 1886 in the Calcutta. It was presided over by the Dada Bhai Nauroji. Who was the first woman president of Indian National Congress? Mrs. Annie Besant. Annie Besant was a woman of Irish origin. She remained the president of the Theosophical Society from 1907 to 1933. formed the Home Rule League in 1916 and became the first woman president of the Indian National Congress in 1917. In the Congress session held at Kanpur in 1925, Sarojini Naidu became the first Indian woman president of the Congress and the second woman president from 1947 to 49. She also served as the governor of the Uttar Pradesh, then called United Province. मतलब सरोजिनी नायडू यूपी की जो गवर्नर बनी थी, ठीक है. In which year did the Indian woman become the president of the Indian National Congress? किस साल? 90 अच्छा, किस किस साल, पहली बार नहीं, किस किस साल. तो इसका आंसर ई हो जाएगा, क्योंकि देखो 1917 में कौन बना था? एनी बेसेंट. और ये बनी थी 1925 में. तो इसमें दे नहीं रखा है बाबू. हाँ, तो मतलब वही नन ऑफ द एबव क्यों दे रखा है? इन विच ईयर डिड द इंडियन वुमेन, देखो यहाँ इंडियन वुमेन है और इंडियन वुमेन 1925 में बनी थी सरोजिनी नायडू, ठीक है. और इसमें 1925 ऑप्शन में ही नहीं है. हु वाज द फर्स्ट इंडियन वुमेन प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस? सरोजिनी नायडू. The first woman president of Indian National Congress, Sarojini. First woman president of Indian woman, Annie Besant. First woman है, first Indian woman नहीं है, तो Annie Besant है. How many Muslim delegates participated in the second convention of the Indian National Congress? कितने मुस्लिम से? 33 थे, ठीक है. The second session of the Congress was held at the Calcutta from the 27 to 30 December 1886 under the presidency of Dadabhai Naoroji. A total of 436 registered delegates participated in the second session. In the first session, the number of Muslim representatives was 2. In the second session, it became 33. In the third session, it became 81. And in the fourth session, it became 221. तो भाई इसका मतलब तुम यहाँ देखो कि यहाँ सिर्फ हिंदू 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 ओनली, हिंदू 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 नहीं है. यहाँ पे मुस्लिम्स भी है, पंजाबी भी है, हर कोई है, ठीक है. तो मतलब ये बाइस्ड नहीं है, इसमें है, लोग हैं. हु वाज द फर्स्ट मुस्लिम प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस? कौन थे भाई? बरुद्दीन तैयबजी. Baruddin Tayyibji had the honor of being the first Muslim president of Indian National Congress. He was elected to preside over the third session of Indian National Congress held at the Madras from 27 to 30 December 1887. Who was the second Muslim president of Indian National Congress? सेकेंड कौन थे? रहमतुल्ला एम सयानी, ठीक है. तो सेकेंड मुस्लिम प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस हुआ रहमतुल्ला मोहम्मद Sayani. Notably, the 12th session of Indian National Congress was held in 1896 under the presidency of Rahmatullah Sayani. The first Muslim president of Indian National Congress was Baruddin Tayyibji, ठीक है. महात्मा गांधी presided over which session of the Indian National Congress? 1924 में बेलगम में, देखो ये यहाँ पे, ठीक है. In December 1924, Mahatma Gandhi presided over the 39th annual session of the Congress at Belgaum. A resolution at this session decided the emphasis should be laid on the Gandhi's constructive programs. In the same session, the Gandhi-Nehru-Das agreement, मतलब गांधी स्वराज्यist pact, was also ratified. The Indian National Congress was founded on the basis of safety valve theory to protect the British government from the threats. कौन से लीडर ने ये कहा था? तो ये लाला लाजपत राय जी ने कहा था, ठीक है. तो द सेफ्टी वॉल्व थ्योरी वाज यूज्ड बाय द नेशनलिस्ट लीडर्स. लाला लाजपत राय इन हिज बुक यंग इंडिया, he considered the Congress to be a creation of Lord Dufferin mind. The Lala Lajpat Rai believed that the British used the Congress organization to protect the British government from a danger. Who said the Congress movement was neither inspired by people nor devised or planned by them? लाला लाजपत राय जी ने कहा था in his book Young India. Lala Lajpat Rai wrote, the Congress movement was neither inspired by the people nor devised or planned by them. In my belief, Congress is too tottering to its fall, and one of my great ambition while in India is to assist it a peaceful डिमाइस, ये किसने कहा था? लॉर्ड कर्जन ने। और ये क्वेश्चन हमने उसमें भी किया था, वॉइसराय वाले में भी ये क्वेश्चन था, सेम क्वेश्चन था, ठीक है। तो इसको पढ़ूं कि नहीं पढ़ूं? चलो पढ़ ही लेता हूँ। द ब्रिटिश रूलर बिलीव दैट द कांग्रेस अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ द मॉडरेट्स वॉज अ क्वाइट वीक एंड हैड नो डीप रूट्स अमंग द masses, therefore it could be finished. Lord Curzon was the main spokesman of this policy. In a letter written by Curzon to the Secretary of State of India on 18 November 1900, he said, "In my belief, Congress peaceful demise." In 1903, he wrote the Governor of Madras, "Even since I came to India, my policy has been make the Congress impotent by every means." In 1904, Congress refused to meet a deputation led by Congress President, who among the following said, "The Congress is too tottering to its fall, and one of my great ambition while India is assist to its peaceful demise." कौन था? कजन ही था। राजा राजानी पलामी दत्त, हाँ, राजानी पालमे दत्त said they both fought and collaborated with imperialism. Which political group was he referring? मतलब कौन सा पॉलिटिकल ग्रुप के बारे में ये बोल रहे थे? एक ही हो सकता है, उस टाइम एक ही पॉपुलर था। कौन सा था? इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस। राजानी पलामी दत्त मेड this statement about the Indian National Congress. On many occasions, the Congress also cooperated with British rule. For example, India supported during the First World War and the Gandhi-Irvine talks. At the same time, it opposed the imperialism, fought the freedom struggle against the British, and it also led the Congress to independence. Who called the 1897 Amravati session of the Indian National Congress a 3-day spectacle? अश्विनी कुमार दत्त ने ये कहा कि in 1897 अमरावती session of the Indian National Congress was called a 3-day spectacle by Ashwini Kumar Dutt. The process of a split in a Congress in the early years of the 20th century began over किन सब कारणों की वजह से हुआ था? तीनों कारणों की वजह से हुआ था। स्ट्रेटेजीज ऑफ कांग्रेस मूवमेंट, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ कांग्रेस, पार्टिसिपेशन पीपल इन द कांग्रेस मूवमेंट, ठीक है। देखो, one major reason for the Congress split in the early years of the 20th century was the moderates fail in their strategies and objectives, and they could not keep the common people with them. The moderates did not work among the masses. They could not adjust their strategy according to the political developments. They could not realize that their very achievement had made their politics impractical. The outlook and the assessment of both the moderates and the extremists were also wrong, both in terms of their mutual differences and from a nationalist perspective. The moderates could not understand that the government was negotiating with them mainly due to fear of extremists, and the extremists could not understand the moderates could act as a protective shield in their struggle. As a result, the Congress split at the Surat session in 1907. Who was the president of Indian National Congress during the 1960s Lucknow session, where the Congress and the गरम दल साइंड एन एग्रीमेंट? गरम दल मतलब वही एक्सट्रीमिस्ट, ठीक है। अंबिका चंद्र मजूमदार, ठीक है। ड्यूरिंग द लखनऊ सेशन ऑफ 1916 द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वाज अंबिका Charan Majumdar. In this session, the extremists re-entered the Congress, and the Congress Muslim League agreement was also concluded in the same year. The Congress took a critical stand over the Montfort reforms in 1980, which led to break up the old moderate remnants Sapru, Jaikar and Chintamani, who formed the Indian National Liberal Freedom. In 1970, the Secretary of State of India, Edwin Montagu, made a historical statement in the British Parliament known as the Montagu डिक्लेरेशन। इसको अगस्त डिक्लेरेशन भी कहते हैं। देखो, ये अगस्त डिक्लेरेशन है और अगस्त ऑफर बाद में पहुंचेगा 1940s में। ये अगस्त डिक्लेरेशन है, ठीक है। In this declaration, it was proposed to increase the participation of Indians in administration and in the development of self-governing institution in India. To work out these reforms, Montagu along with the Viceroy Lord Chelmsford, brought out a detailed report titled Constitution Reform in India, which is called the Montfort Report or the Montagu-Chelmsford Report. This report was published in 1980. Regarding this report, differences between the liberal and extremist group within the Congress become early visible. As a result, the liberal who supported the Montfort report separated from the Congress in 1918 and under the leadership of Surendranath Banerjee founded a new party in 1990 named the Indian National Liberal Federation, in which working committee did Congress adopted the policy of abolishing land ownership. Working Committee 1937. In the Executive Committee of Indian National Congress adopted the policy of abolishing landlordism in 1937. Tenancy bill were passed in the United Province and Bihar. In all Congress ruled provinces, efforts were made to protect cultivators from the clutches of moneylenders and to improve the irrigation facilities. Who was elected as the President of Indian National Congress in 1938? Subhash Chandra Bose ji. At the Haripura, Gujarat session of the Congress in February 1938, Subhash Chandra Bose was elected President of unopposed. It is noteworthy that in the 1939 as well as at the Tirupuri session, Subhash won the presidential election of defeating Sitaramaiah. However, he resigned from the post of president in April. Then Dr. Rajendra Prasad was made the new Congress president in his place. Who became the president of Indian National Congress when Subhash Chandra Bose resigned in 1939? Just हमने पढ़ा अभी कौन बने थे? राजेंद्र प्रसाद जी. In which year was the Subhash Chandra Bose the president of Indian National Congress? कब बने थे? 39 में बने थे और 38 में भी, तो इसका आंसर डी होगा. हु वॉज द कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट हु हेल्ड टॉक्स विद द बोथ क्रिप्स मिशन एंड लॉर्ड वेबल्स? अबुल कलाम आज़ाद. भाई देखो उस टाइम ना 1940s के बाद करीब 3-4 साल तक कुछ सेशन हुए ही नहीं थे. ठीक है, तो अबुल कलाम आज़ाद ही जो थे वो उस टाइम तक थे. देखो 6 साल तक. Abul Kalam Azad remained the president of Congress from 1940 to 46. He held talks with the both Cripps Mission in 1942 and Lord's Wavels in 1945. Who was the president of Indian National Congress at the time of partition of India? यहाँ देख लेना J.B. Kripalani चाहिए. ठीक है. When India became independent, J.B. Kripalani was the president of Congress. He was elected president at the Meerut session of the Congress and he remained the president at the time of independence as well. The Jaipur session of the Congress 1948 was presided over the Dr. Pattavi Sitaramaiah. Mahatma Gandhi presided over the Belgaum session 1924, Jawaharlal Nehru Lucknow session, Lahore session और फैजापुर session. ठीक है. रिस्पेक्टिवली 1929 में लाहौर, 1936 में लखनऊ और 1936 में फैजापुर. ठीक है. सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल प्रिसाइडेड ओवर द कराची सेशन इन 1931. हु प्रिसाइडेड ओवर द दिल्ली सेशन ऑफ इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस इन 1947? किसने किया था? राजेंद्र प्रसाद ने. ठीक है. देख लो. अ स्पेशल सेशन ऑफ इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वाज हेल्ड इन द दिल्ली 14 to 50 June 1947. Although Acharya J.V. Kripalani was president of the Congress, then this historical meeting was presided over by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The main purpose of this meeting was to deliberate on the Mountbatten's plan. At the Congress Working Committee meeting at Allahabad, April or May 1947, who of the following member was able to secure a majority for his plan of guerrilla war against the Japanese due to India's unequivocal stand against the Nazi fascism and imperialism? कौन थे? जवाहरलाल नेहरू. ठीक है. पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू because of India's first anti-Nazism, anti-fascism and anti-imperialist stand secured a majority in the support of his plan a guerrilla war against the Japan in the Congress Working Committee meeting held at the Allahabad 13 May 1942. In which of the following Indian National Congress session the resolution related to fundamental rights were passed vote of all time? Karachi session 1931. To approve the Gandhi-Irvin Pact, Delhi Pact, the Karachi session of the Congress was held on 29 and 13 March 1931 when the President of the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. In this session, for the first time, the Congress passed the resolution related to the fundamental rights and national economic program. देखो ये याद रखना, ये मैंने बहुत पेपर नेशनल फर्स्ट नेशनल इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्राम एंड फंडामेंटल राइट्स किस में हुआ था? कराची सेशन 1931 में, और जिसके प्रेसिडेंट कौन थे? सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल थे. इन द सेम सेशन व्हेन सम पीपल अपोज्ड इट, गांधी जी सेड गांधी मे डाई बट गांधी विल नॉट. मॉडरेट एंड एक्सट्रीमिस्ट के क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. विच इंडियन लीडर ऑफ द फर्स्ट टाइम यूज द सेफ्टी वॉल थ्योरी टू अटैक द मॉडरेट्स इन द कांग्रेस? लाला लाजपत राय जी. फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम एक्सट्रीमिस्ट लीडर लाला लाजपत राय, in his book Young India, published in 1960, used this theory to accuse the moderate leaders of the Congress of running an organization which the British rules were using like a safety valve. Most of the moderate leaders hailed from urban areas. ठीक है. In the era of liberal politics or a political mendicancy, most moderate leaders such as Dadabhai Naoroji, Firoz Shah Mehta, Dinesh Shah Wacha, Umesh Chandra Banerjee and Surendranath Banerjee were associated with the urban areas. During this period, the Congress was dominated by prosperous middle class intellectuals including lawyers, doctors, engineers, journalists and literary persons. Titles and high position attracted them. The representative who came to known as the generally came from big cities and their contacts with the common people was limited. Firoz Shah Mehta himself said the voice of the Congress is not the voice of the people. However, it is the duty of other countrymen living among them to understand their feelings. Which one of the following was not an extremist? इन सब में से एक्सट्रीमिस्ट कौन नहीं है? गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले नहीं. देखो मदन लाल जी ने भी, इनका पूरा नाम है मदन लाल जी डिंगरा, ठीक है, और दूसरा उधम सिंह, बाल गंगाधर तिलक और गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले तो है. तो गोपाल कृष्ण गोखले was associated with the liberal moderate camp. He believed in a equanimity and a gentle sense of justice. He had complete faith that the nation's regeneration could not take place amid storms of agitation. He believed in the purity of both means and ends. Influenced by these ideas, Gandhi became his disciple. He entered the politics from the platform of Bombay Congress session of 1889. 1889 ये याद रखना. In 1897, he and Dinesh Shah Wacha were asked to give an evidence before the Walway Commission appointed to examine Indians' expenditure. In 1899, he was elected to a Bombay Legislative Council and later he Imperial Legislative Council. Indian national movement came to be a dominant in extremist after 1906. After 1906, within the Congress, the influence of the extremist group increased in Indian politics. The extremist group was jointly led by major Congress leader Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal and Arvind Ghosh. Which one of the following leader belongs to the extremist group? कौन से हैं? देखो भाई, दादा भाई नौरोजी नहीं है, अरविंदो घोष हैं, तो ए है. और देखते हैं कौन तो होगा. देखो ए है, ठीक है. अरविंदो घोष was the leader of the extremist group in the Congress. He was one of the four pillars of the extremist group. लाल बाल पाल, तो लाला लाजपत राय, बाल गंगाधर तिलक और बिपिन चंद्र पाल and अरविंदो घोष. In his article written in 1893-94, he said that the Congress was away from the working class and was anti-nationalist and had completely failed, and he described as a cowardly the Congress policy of not speaking clearly due to fear of pleasing the British rule. According to him, the Congress was going to die of tuberculosis. In 1908, the police raided Manichitra Garden. Another named Murari Pukar Baganbari arrested 14 revolutionary and arrested Arvindo Ghosh from his house on a grey street. All of them were tried in a Alipur conspiracy case. The trial against the Arvindo Ghosh continued for about a year, but later he was acquitted due to the lack of evidence. In the course of a time, he withdrew from revolutionary activities and became ascetic and went for Pondicherry, who propounded the doctrine of passive resistance. Arvindo Ghosh, resistant. ठीक है. A series of articles on a passive resistance was first published in the newspaper Bande Mataram between 9 and 23rd April 1907. Arvindo Ghosh believed that the British should leave India immediately until the British did so. Protest against them should continue. Who among the following was not known as the moderate in the national movement? बाल गंगाधर तिलक एक्सट्रीमिस्ट थे. ठीक है. Among the four main pillars of the extremists, लाल बाल पाल, तो लाल लाजपत राय, बाल गंगाधर तिलक, बिपिन चंद्रपाल and Arvindo Ghosh. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was the pioneer of this ideology. He criticized the Congress policy of petition and prayers. Tilak said about the Congress, if we croak like a frog once a year, we will मतलब ये तिलक ने कहा था कि if we croak like a frog once a year, we will get nothing. Dadabhai Naoroji and Gopal Krishna Gokhale were moderates leader of the Congress, whereas M.G. Ranade was a social reformer. Bal Gangadhar Tilak came to be known as the Lokmanya Tilak when देखते हैं ई दे रखा है इसमें. ठीक है. तो द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट मेड बाल गंगाधर तिलक एन एक्यूज्ड इन द मर्डर केस ऑफ the then Pune Plague Commissioner W.C. Rand and Lieutenant Ariest. Tilak was found guilty and was sentenced to 18 months of rigorous imprisonment. When he came out of jail, he emerged as the national hero, thus not due to any single incident, but after many nationalist action. Tilak was given the title of Lokmanya Tilak. निकलने के बाद तो इन सब में से तो कोई लग नहीं रहा. ठीक है. He became a popular teacher. ठीक है. Who said Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it? बाल गंगाधर तिलक ने कहा था. स्लोगन Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it associated with the Bal Gangadhar Tilak and has been a subject of the considerable disagreement among the scholars regarding when the Tilak first used it. In fact, the idea of this slogan began to take sharp shape in the 1890s. Scholars believe that Tilak close associate Joseph Kaka Baptista first coined this sentence. It is believed that Baptista probably composed this line in Marathi. स्वराज माझा जन्म सिद्धा हक्का एहे एनी टू मिलवंची. मतलब होना चाहिए, मेरे को मिलना चाहिए, मेरा हक है. ठीक है. On the basis of available evidence, it can be said that Tilak used this slogan from the public platform during the Home Rule movement in 1916. Some sources emphasize that Tilak used this slogan at the Lucknow session of the Congress 1916, but sufficient historical evidence in support of this not available. Swaraj is my birthright and I will have it. This statement is concerned with Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who said Swaraj is my birthright, I will have it. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Swaraj is my birthright, I shall have it. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. In 1908, Bal Gangadhar Tilak was imprisoned for 6 years. In 1908, on the basis of articles published in Kesari, Tilak was tried for sedition and was sentenced to 6 years of transport and exile along with a fine of ₹1,000, and he was sent to Mandalay in a jail, Myanmar. The protest method of the moderates leader of the Congress was constitutional agitation. The chief method of the agitation of the moderates leader of the Congress was constitutional agitation, that is demanding Indians' participation in administration and creating political awareness among them. Who is properly known as शेर पंजाब? जानते हो लाला लाजपत राय? Lala Lajpat Rai was known as the Sher Punjab. He was leader of the extremist fraction in the Indian National Congress and representative of whole Punjab. He is also known as Punjab Kesari. While leading a procession in a protest against the Simon Commission, Lala Ji was injured due to the lathi blow. As a result, he passed in 17 November 1928. Revolutionary movement in India. In which year was the V.D. Savarkar elected the president of the Hindu Mahasabha? कब बने थे? 1943 में. ठीक है. V.D. Savarkar was the president of Hindu Mahasabha in 1937 to 1943. V.D. Savarkar founded an organization named Abhinav Bharat, who founded the Revolutionary Society in 1904, which aimed at the armed revolution against the British rule. विनय दामोदर सावरकर. ठीक है. और रिसेंट का क्वेश्चन है ये 204 का है. In 1904, the Abhinav Bharat Society or Young India Society established by the Vinay Damodar Savarkar and his objective associate a functional revolutionary society. Its objective was to carry out an armed revolution against the British rule. Who is associated with Abhinav Bharat? V.D. Savarkar. Who organized a secret society called Abhinav Bharat? V.D. Savarkar. Which of the following was not related to काकोरी इंसिडेंट? काकोरी इंसिडेंट से कौन नहीं है? सूर्यसेन नहीं है. ठीक है, इसको पढ़ लेते हैं. सूर्यसेन was not related to the काकोरी इंसिडेंट. among the given option all the other persons were related to काकोरी इंसिडेंट. ठीक है, तो राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल भी थे, राजेंद्र लहरी भी थे और अशफाकुल्ला भी थे. ठीक है. Who started the हिंदुस्तानी सेवा दल in mid 1920s? N.S. हरिदर. ये याद रखना, क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन मैंने देखा है, मतलब पहली बार ही देख रहा हूँ, इसीलिए मेरे को याद नहीं है. Who started the हिंदुस्तानी सेवा दल in the mid 1920s? N.S. Hardikar. The Hindustani Seva Dal Mandal was started by the freedom fighter and Congress leader Dr. N.S. Hardikar. This organization worked under the Indian National Congress and its members are known as wearing the Gandhi cap. This organization was founded in 1923. The reason for the revival of revolutionary method in the Indian politics during the period of 1923 to 28 was Gandhiji suspends the non-Congress movement. वही देखो. After 1922, with the suspension of the National Congress movement and the absence of any political activity in the country, many capable nationalist youth became disillusioned. They were also dissatisfied with the Gandhiji leaderships and the politics of non-violent struggle. Inspired by the revolutionary movement, a revolution in Russia, China, Ireland, Turkey, Egypt, etc., they sought to overthrow British rule through violent means. Therefore, this period is regarded as the phase of revival of revolutionary method in the Indian politics. Which year was the Hindustan Republic Association was set up? Hindustan Republic Association 1924. In October 1924, Sachindranath Sanyal, Ram Prasad Bismil and others founded the revolutionary organization Hindustan Republic Association at the Kanpur. On August 1925, this organization looted the government treasury by carrying out a dacoity on the 8 down Saharanpur Lucknow passenger train at a place called Kakori on a Lucknow Saharanpur division of the Northern Railway. This incident became the famous as the Kakori case. In this case, 43 revolutionaries were arrested, including Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Roshan Singh, and Rajendra Lehri, who were hanged while Chandrasekhar Azad escaped. Which revolutionaries were hanged in the Kakori train robbery? Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah. One of the founder leader of the Hindustan Socialist Republic Army, Bhagat Singh. आफ्टर द ककोरी केस 1925 हमने पढ़ा था भी, ड्यू टू द रिप्रेशन लॉन्च्ड बाय द पुलिस, द हिंदुस्तान रिपब्लिक एसोसिएशन सफर्ड अ सीरियस सेटबैक. हाउएवर लेटर विजय कुमार सिन्हा, शिव वर्मा, जयदेव कुमार, भगत सिंह, भगवती चरण वोहरा and Sukhdev began the work of the reorganizing the HRA under the leadership of Chandrasekhar Azad in September 1928. A meeting was held at the Firoz Shah Kotla ground under the leadership of Chandrasekhar Azad, in which the name of the HRA was changed to Hindustan Socialist Republic Association. Who penned the फॉलोइंग लाइन, सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में बिस्मिल. These lines of the ghazal were written by the poet बिस्मिल अजीम बांदी. बिस्मिल रियल नेम was सैयद शाह मोहम्मद हसन. सैयद शाह मोहम्मद हसन याद रख लेना, कहीं पूछा जा सकता है. सैयद शाह मोहम्मद हसन. He was born in 1901 in हारदस बेगा विलेज, पटना. This ghazal was written in Urdu and was published in 1921 in the Qazi Aful Ghaffur magazine Sabah. Who is the author of the popular song सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, दिल में है? कौन है? जस्ट पढ़ा था अभी हमने. इसमें तो ई बोल रहा है, मतलब कि ई ना दिया हो भाई, देखना पड़ेगा कि इससे ऊपर वाले लाइन में क्या लिखा है. बिस्मिल्लाह खान ने किया था, ठीक है. तो भाई इसका आंसर तो होना चाहिए डी, राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल. हु गेव द इनकलाब जिंदाबाद स्लोगन? भगत सिंह. द फेमस स्लोगन इनकलाब जिंदाबाद वाज गिवन बाय द हसरत मोहिनी. द फेमस स्लोगन इनकलाब जिंदाबाद was given by the Hasrat Mohini. Hasrat Mohini was a freedom fighter and renowned poet of the Urdu language, whereas Bhagat Singh made it popular. तो हसरत मोहिनी इसमें नाम नहीं है इसलिए इनका, क्योंकि इन्होंने पॉपुलर किया है. तो हु गेव द फेमस स्लोगन इनकलाब जिंदाबाद? आ गया हसरत मोहिनी, ठीक है, मोहिनी. भगत सिंह, राजगुरु, सुखदेव वर एग्जीक्यूटेड इन द 23 मार्च 1931. देखो 22 मार्च को बिहार डे होता है, 23 मार्च याद कर लो 1931. टू मेंबर्स ऑफ द भगत सिंह, राजगुरु एंड सुखदेव. टू मेंबर्स ऑफ द हिंदुस्तान सोशलिस्ट रिपब्लिक एसोसिएशन भगत सिंह एंड बख्तेश्वर दत्त थ्रो अ बॉम्ब इन अ सेंट्रल लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली on 8 April 1929. Both were arrested and tried under the Central Assembly bomb case. Later other members of the HSRA were also arrested and the revolutionaries were tried under the Lahore conspiracy case. In 1930, the judgment in the Lahore conspiracy case was delivered, in which Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev were sentenced to death on the 23 March 1931. All three were hanged. The news of their execution plunged the entire country to deep in mourning. On which date सुखदेव, भगत सिंह और राजगुरु death? जस्ट हमने अभी देखा था 23 मार्च 1931. How old was Bhagat Singh when he threw a bomb in the assembly to protest? At least a little more than 21 years, ठीक है. Who threw a harmless bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly? उन सब का औरों का नाम नहीं है, बख्तेश्वर दत्त हैं, ठीक है, याद रखना. द अनुशीलन समिति was a revolutionary organization. अनुशीलन समिति. Chitgaon Armory raid has been planned by Surya Sen. Chitgaon Army raid was organized by the revolutionary Surya Sen, properly known as Master Da. Surya Sen founded the Indian Republic Army in Bengal. Its prominent members included Ananta Singh, Ambika Chaudhary, Chakravarti, Lakinath, Pritilta Wadidar, Ganesh घोष, कल्पना दत्त एंड आनंद गुप्ता. ऑन April 18 On 18 April 1930, Surya Sen declared war against the British. Under his leadership, IRA members attacked the Chittagong army and seized the weapons. On 22 May 1930, a clash took between the IRA members and the army, in which 80 soldiers and 12 revolutionaries were killed. Surya Sen was arrested on 16 February 1933. He tried and was hanged. ठीक है, who is related to the Chittagong army raid? सब जानते हैं सूर्य सेन. Revolutionary activities outside India. Who was the founder of India House in London? श्यामजी कृष्णा वर्मा. ठीक है. In February 1905, Shyamji Krishna Verma founded the Indian Home Rule Society in London. He also established India's House. From here, the newspaper, the Indian Sociologist, also began a publication. As the government machinery became especially active in London, Shyamji left for Paris and finally moved to Geneva. Who founded Abhinav Bharat Society in 1906 in the London? V.D. Savarkar. After reaching the London in 1906, V.D. Savarkar established the branch of Abhinav Bharat Society, and his prototype of Abhinav Bharat Society formed the Free India Society in 1906. Free India Society in 1906, so that youth coming to London from different parts of India could be brought together as an organized force. This youth associated with the Free India Society were closely observed, and only thereafter they were given a place in the central group of Abhinav Bharat. Who was the founder of Abhinav Bharat in London? V.D. Savarkar ji. Who is regarded as the mother of Indian revolutionary? Madam Bhikaji Rustam Kama. Madam Kama was born on 24 September 1861. Her parents were Paris, and Sarojini Formji Patel was her father. She married Rustam K.R. Kama, who was the lawyer and a social worker. Madam Kama served as a private secretary to Dadabhai Naoroji, a great pioneer leader of India's national movement. Later, after coming in contact with some patriotic students and European intellectuals, she joined the freedom movement. She participated in the International Socialist Conference held at the Stuttgart, Germany on 22 August 1907. In this very conference, she unfurled the Indian tricolor flag. She was the first person to hoist the Indian flag on the foreign soil or on an international platform. The flag hoisted there was a modified form of the Calcutta flag. She is called the mother of Indian Revolution. Where did Madam Kama hoist the tricolor flag of the India's independence? Stuttgart. Where did Madam Kama hoist the first tricolor flag in 1907? Stuttgart. भाई देखो मैं बोल नहीं पा रहा हूँ तो बस समझ जाओ ये स्टुटगार्ट ही होगा. Who was given the life punishment for the murder of cousin Wiley? Madan Lal Dhingra. Cousin Wiley was shot dead in London on 8 July 1909 by the Madan Lal Dhingra. Cousin Wiley served as the political aide-de-camp to a Secretary of State of India. Madan Lal Dhingra was hanged in 17 August 1909. Who got an opportunity to become a professor of Indian philosophy in the University of California in 1911? हरदयाल. ये 2025 का क्वेश्चन है. हरदयाल. ठीक है. Lala Hardayal was an Indian revolutionary and a scholar. In 1911, he got the opportunity to become the professor of Indian philosophy at the University of California, USA. ठीक है. Ghadar Party was established in the year 1930. In the 1930, under the leadership of Sohan Singh Bhakhana, an organization named Ghadar Party was established in the year 1913. In 1930, under the leadership of the Sohan Singh Bhakhana, an organization named the Pacific Coast Hindustan Association was established at Portland, USA. Its headquarters were in San Francisco. The organization started publishing a newspaper named Ghadar, due to which the organization also came to be known as Ghadar Party. Lala Hardayal was the chief ideology and guiding force of this organization. Its other members included Ramchandra, Barkatullah, Ras Bihari Bose, Bhai Parmanand, etc. Who was the leader of the Ghadar movement, a revolutionary movement aimed to overthrowing the British rule in India? Kartar Singh Sarabha. Where was the गदर पार्टी फाउंडेड? कहाँ हुआ था? यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. Where was the गदर पार्टी established? यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. The person associated with the जिमीरमान प्लान, ये तो मैंने पढ़ा भी नहीं है भाई. इसका आंसर है ऑल दी अबव. लाला हरदयाल, भूपेंद्र नाथ दत्त एंड वीरेंद्र नाथ चट्टोपाध्याय. ये सब जिमिरमन प्लान, जीमरमन प्लान याद रखना भाई. देख लेते हैं. ड्यूरिंग द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर इंडियन रिवॉल्यूशनरी मेड अ प्लान टू प्रोक्योर आर्म्स एंड एम्यूनेशन फ्रॉम जर्मनी विद द हेल्प ऑफ इंडियंस लिविंग अब्रॉड. दिस केम टू बी नोन एज हिंदू जर्मन कॉन्स्पिरेसी, ऑल्सो रेफर टू ए जिमरिन प्लान. हिंदू जर्मन कॉन्स्पिरेसी और जेमरिन प्लान. ठीक है. लाला हरदयाल, भूपेंद्र नाथ दत्त एंड वीरेंद्र नाथ चट्टोपाध्याय वर कनेक्टेड विद दिस प्लान. विद द जर्मन सपोर्ट दे एस्टेब्लिश्ड द बर्लिन कमिटी, बर्लिन इंडिया कमिटी in 1914. In 1915 this organization came to be known as Indian Independence Committee. Wow. Who was the cause of outbreak of Ghadar revolution? Beginning of First World War. Beginning of the First World War. With the decline of the Swadeshi movement, revolutionary activities also weakened for some time. Then in 1914, the sudden outbreak of the First World War created a situation that the revolutionary considered favorable for action. In North America, the Ghadar revolutionary, and in India, leaders like Lokman Tilak and Annie Besant and organizations like Home Rule League tried to take advantage of this situation. The Ghadar revolutionary attempted to overthrow the British rule through armed struggle. Interim government under the leadership of Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh was founded in Kabul with the support of Germany during the more than one year. Raja Mahendra Pratap along with his associates Barkatullah formed India's first provincial government in Kabul, Afghanistan. In 1950, during the First World War, in this government, Raj Mahendra Pratap himself was the president and Barakatullah was the prime minister. It was also recognized by Germany. मतलब इन सब की हेल्प से तो नहीं बना था भाई, इसलिए ई है, मतलब नन ऑफ द एबव. सरदार उधम सिंह किल्ड वूम, याद रखना क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन मैंने किया है तो मुझे याद भी नहीं है. इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ राजा महेंद्र प्रताप सिंह वाज फाउंडेड इन काबुल विद द सपोर्ट ऑफ जर्मनी ड्यूरिंग द इन सबके टाइम पे 1915 में. ठीक है. सरदार उधम सिंह किल्ड वूम, माइकल ओ डायर. सरदार Udham Singh killed Michael O'Dwyer. Udham Singh assassinated Sir Michael O'Dwyer, the lieutenant governor held indirectly responsible for the Jallianwala massacre in London in March 1940. Sir Michael O'Dwyer was shot dead on 13 March 1940 in London by Udham Singh, who from the following killed Michael O'Dwyer responsible for Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Udham Singh. Partition of Bengal and Swadeshi movement. Who said about the Bengal partition? The partition announcements fell like a bombshell. Surendranath Banerjee. Regarding the partition of Bengal, Surendranath Banerjee said the announcement of partition fell like a bombshell. The partition of Bengal took place during the tenure of Lord Curzon. The declaration of partition of Bengal was done on declaration 19 जुलाई 1905. देखो कहीं पे 19 जुलाई है, कहीं पे और भी डेट है, मतलब एक दिन का आगे पीछे है. और इसको थोड़ा अच्छे से देख लें. द आउटलाइन ऑफ द पार्टीशन ऑफ बंगाल वाज प्रेजेंटेड इन द फेमस रिस्ली सर्कुलर. इस नाम से जाना जाता। फेमस रिस्कली इन अ फेमस रिस्कली सर्कुलर सेंड बाय द होम सेक्रेटरी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया HS रिस्कली टू बंगाल गवर्नमेंट ऑन 3 दिसंबर 93, इट्स फॉर्मल अनाउंसमेंट वाज मेड ऑन 19 जुलाई 1905। और अनाउंसमेंट बोल दिया कि भाई होगा 19 जुलाई 1905 में। इट्स ऑब्जेक्टिव वाज टू डिवाइड द ग्रोइंग नेशनलिज्म इन बंगाल प्रेसिडेंसी। द पार्टीशन ऑफ बंगाल इफेक्ट में आया था 16 अक्टूबर 1905 में। ऑन दिस डे रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर एडवाइज दैट इट इज सेलिब्रेटेड एज द रक्षाबंधन। द पार्टीशन ऑफ बंगाल केम इनटू इफेक्ट ऑन, अब यहाँ इफेक्ट पूछ रहा है तो सी होगा 16 1905, ठीक है। Which movement was started as a reaction to the partition of Bengal। यहाँ रिएक्शन पूछ रहा है। देखो रिएक्शन क्या चीज़ पे हुआ था? स्वदेशी मूवमेंट की, अब हम फॉरेन यूज़ नहीं करेंगे, या मतलब हर चीज़ पिक्टिंग भी स्टार्ट कर दिया था मेरे को जितना याद है। अब ये देखते हैं। द वायसरॉय ऑफ इंडिया लॉर्ड कर्जन अनाउंस द पार्टीशन ऑफ बंगाल और 19 जुलाई 1905 एंड in protest against the announcement, a historic meeting was held in a Calcutta town hall where the formal declaration was made of the Swadeshi movement. When the partition of Bengal was implemented in October 16 October 1905 में, that day was observed a day of mourning on the suggestion of Rabindranath Tagore. It was also observed as Rakhi Day. Nationalists observed this day to demonstrate the unbroken unity of Bengal. On the line of Tagore Shanti Niketan, the Bengal National College was established. Very soon many national schools were set up across the country. In a March 19, देखो ये क्या बोल रहा है? स्वदेशी मतलब पूरा स्वदेशी होना चाहिए, सब चीज़ स्वदेशी करो। इन मार्च 1906 द नेशनल काउंसिल ऑफ एजुकेशन वाज फॉर्म्ड। द स्वदेशी मूवमेंट रेज टू अ स्लोगन ऑफ सेल्फ रिलायंस सेल्फ पावर। द question of self-support and self-reliance was linked with the national self-respect, honor and self-confidence. The Congress in its Calcutta session 1906 also passed for resolution related to a Swadeshi movement, the boycott movement, national education and self-government. Thus, it is clear that in opposition to the partition of Bengal, nationalists launched a movement such as Swadeshi, boycott, national education and self-government. During which period did the Swadeshi movement take place in India? Movement against the partition of Bengal, ठीक है, मतलब बी आंसर है, ठीक है भाई। ऑप्शन देखो, ऑप्शन देखते रहना है क्योंकि मैं डायरेक्ट आंसर बोल देता हूँ, ABC भी नहीं बोलता हूँ, ठीक है। The Swadeshi and boycott were adopted as the method for a struggle for the first time during the partition of Bengal. C आंसर है। Swadeshi and boycott as a method of struggle for the first time, when was they adopted in India? A है आंसर, partition of Bengal. Which movement started after the partition of Bengal? Swadeshi movement, B है आंसर. Who was the viceroy of India at the time of the partition of Bengal in 1905? Lord Curzon, D है आंसर. In which of the following period did the Swadeshi movement raise in India? Anti-partition movement of Bengal, B है आंसर. In which year partition of Bengal made by Lord Curzon was cancelled? यहाँ cancelled पूछा है, A है आंसर. In 1901 and arrival of the King Emperor George V याद रखना, and Queen Mary in India. Darbar was held in the Delhi to welcome them. At the Delhi Darbar on the 12th December 1911, the King Emperor declared the annulment of the partition of Bengal. He also announced that Delhi would be made the new capital of India in place of Culcutta. In accordance with this announcement, Bengal was reorganized as a new province. Odisha and Bihar were separated from it. Assam was made a new province as it had been in 1874, and Sylhet was added to it. Bengal was a partition in 1905, but due to the opposition it was again divided नहीं, साथ में कर दिया था 1911 में, ठीक है। During whose tenure was partition of Bengal withdrawal? किस टाइम किसके टेन्योर में? लॉर्ड हार्डिंग के टेन्योर में। बी है आंसर। द पार्टीशन ऑफ बंगाल वाज विड्रॉल ड्यूरिंग द टेन्योर ऑफ द लॉर्ड हार्डिंग सेकेंड इन 1912. द कैपिटल ऑफ ब्रिटिश इंडिया was shifted from Culcutta to Delhi on April-July 1905. The then Viceroy Lord Curzon announced the partition of Bengal. अब देखते हैं नेक्स्ट, कांग्रेस बनारस कलकत्ता एंड सूरत सेशन, ठीक है। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लीडर्स प्रिसाइडेड ओवर द कांग्रेस सेशन एट कलकत्ता इन 1906, ठीक है। 1906 में किसने वो किया था? तो दादा भाई नौरोजी थे। इन 1906 द कलकत्ता सेशन ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वाज presided over by the Dadabhai Naoroji. In the session, resolution related to Swaraj, self-rule, Swadeshi boycott, and a national education were passed, and the flag of Swaraj was hosted by Dadabhai Naoroji. 1906 में Dadabhai Naoroji. At the Calcutta session in the Indian National Congress held in 1906, the flag of Swaraj of India was unfurled by Dadabhai Naoroji. मतलब सी आंसर है। द कांग्रेस पास द स्वराज रिजोल्यूशन इन द ईयर 1905. द पर्पस ऑफ दिस रिजोल्यूशन वाज, मतलब ये थोड़ा इसमें गलत कर दिया, 1905 नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है, वो डेट गलत हो गया। फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मुस्लिम लीग। हु अमंग द फॉलोइंग वाज द फाउंडर ऑफ ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम लीग? नवाब सलीमुल्लाह खान। डी है आंसर, ठीक है। In October 1906, under the leadership of Aga Khan, the Shimla deputation of Muslim proposed the idea of forming a central Muslim organization to protect Muslim interests. In line with the idea, during the All India Mohammedan Education Conference held at Dhaka in December 1906, Nawab Salimullah Khan of Dhaka, the president of the reception committee of the conference and the convener of the political meeting, got a resolution passed for the formation of All India Muslim League. A 60-member provincial committee was selected, and the Mosim ul Mulk and Wakar ul Mulk were appointed jointly as the secretaries of the organization. The headquarters of the Muslim League was set up at Lucknow, and Aga Khan was made its first president. In options, if these names are present or if any two of them are present, then the order of preference of selecting the founder will be सलीमुल्लाह, आगा खान और मोहसिन उल मुल्क। देखो वैसे तो सलीमुल्लाह और आगा खान ही ज़्यादातर दिखता है, मोहसिन उल मुल्क कम ही दिखता है, लेकिन याद कर लेना, ठीक है। सिंस फर्स्ट टू नेम्स आर गिवन इन द प्रेजेंट क्वेश्चन, तो इसलिए सलीमुल्लाह खान को पकड़ लिया गया, ठीक है। वैन डिड पकड़ लिया गया मतलब वो प्रेसिडेंट बने थे, ठीक है। वैन डिड द मुस्लिम एक्सेप्टेड द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट अंडर द एम्पायर? बी है आंसर। 1913 में। वैन डिड द मुस्लिम एक्सेप्टेड द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट अंडर द एम्पायर? 1913 में। देखते हैं क्या लिखा हुआ इसके बारे में। द मुस्लिम लीग एडोप्टेड द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट within the British Empire in 1913. The Muslim League started its annual convention on a regular basis from, or the All India Muslim League was founded in December 1906. Dhaka, the Nawab of Dhaka, Salimullah Khan, played an important role in the formation. In 1907, the annual session of the Muslim League was held at Karachi, and in 1908, Amritsar. After this session of the Muslim League continued to be held irregular, मतलब regular नहीं, irregularly in different cities. However, the Bihar Police Commission in its answer key consider option D is the answer of this question, which is not option D किया है 1925। भाई देखो BPSC ने इसे 1925 किया है, थोड़ा याद कर लेना, वैसे ये आंसर गलत है, ठीक है। The Muslim deputation met Minto in 1906 at the Shimla and pleaded for what? Separate electorate. On 1 October 1906, Muslim League deputation led by the Aga Khan. Aga Khan met the then Viceroy Lord Minto at Shimla. The deputation demanded a special position for Muslim for election in the provincial, central and local bodies. In response to this demand, Minto assured the Muslims that their political rights and interests would be protected. Morley-Minto reforms. Which of the following act introduced a separate electorate in a system? D option है the Indian Council Act 1909. Though the through the Indian Council Act 1909, Morley-Minto reforms 1909, a system of communal representation was introduced in the British India, under which provision was made for a separate electorate for Muslims. दिल्ली दर भाई इस देखो घटना चक्र में ना इस टॉपिक पे बहुत क्वेश्चन है और ज़्यादातर में यही चीज़ पूछा गया है, थोड़ा याद रखना, ठीक है। दिल्ली दरबार एंड चेंज ऑफ अ कैपिटल, वेयर वॉज द कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया चेंज फ्रॉम कलकत्ता टू दिल्ली, कब हुआ था? व्हेन 1912 AD में। इन 1912 द कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया वॉज शिफ्टेड फ्रॉम कलकत्ता टू दिल्ली। इट इज़ नोट वर्थी दैट announcement regarding the change of capital was made in 1911. When did Britishers shifted the capital to Delhi? 1912 में। लखनऊ सेशन ऑफ अ कांग्रेस, हु प्रेजेंटेड द क्वेश्चन ऑफ इंडिगो कल्टिवेटर्स ऑफ बिहार एंड एट द 1916 लखनऊ सेशन ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस? राजकुमार शुक्ला जी थे, ए है आंसर। एट द 1916 लखनऊ सेशन ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस, अ सिंपल फार्मर फ्रॉम बिहार, राजकुमार शुक्ला, इन्फॉर्म्ड गांधी जी अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ इंडिगो कल्टिवेटर्स ऑफ द चंपारण and took a promise from him to visit Champaran. However, at the Lucknow session of 1916, Braj Kishore Prasad of Darbhanga proposed the formation of committee to investigate the problem of indigo cultivator and the atrocities of European planter, and it was passed unanimously. Unanimously का मतलब ये होता है कि कोई भी विरोध नहीं हुआ, हो गया। Therefore, the Champaran issue was discussed at the Lucknow session of the Congress 1916. At which of the following session of the Indian National Congress did the Champaran trouble came of the discussion? Just हमने अभी देखा 1916 में लखनऊ सेशन, ठीक है, तो यहाँ वो नहीं है, ठीक है। द लखनऊ पैक्ट टुक प्लेस इन 1916 में। पैक्ट किस किस के बीच में हुआ था, ये याद है ना? मुस्लिम लीग और इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस के बीच में हुआ था। इन 1916 द सेशन ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस वाज हेल्ड एट लखनऊ। द सेशन वाज प्रिसाइडेड ओवर बाय द अंबिका चंद्र मजूमदार। इन दिस सेशन एन एग्रीमेंट वाज रीच्ड बिटवीन द कांग्रेस एंड द मुस्लिम लीग। इन द एडिशन एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग वाज ऑल्सो रीच्ड बिटवीन द एक्सट्रीमिस्ट ग्रुप एंड द मॉडरेट्स ग्रुप्स विद द कांग्रेस। व्हेन वाज द लखनऊ पैक्ट साइंड बाय द मुस्लिम लीग एंड इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस? 1916 में। होम रूल लीग मूवमेंट, इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग डिड नॉट contribute to the establishment of the Home Rule League? H.S. Olcott। इसने किसने नहीं किया था? इसमें लिखा है डिड नॉट। देखो इन्होंने बाहर में किया था, भारत में नहीं किया था, ठीक है। H.S. Olcott was associated with the Home Rule League but with the Theosophical Society. Bal Gangadhar Tilak started his Home Rule League in April 1916 and Annie Besant started in 1916. S. Subramanian Iyer was associated with the establishment of Annie Besant Home Rule League movement. In which of the conference could the Home Rule League supporters demonstrate their political power successfully? वही लखनऊ सेशन 1916 में ही, ठीक है। पढ़ लेते हैं इसको। इन द लखनऊ सेशन ऑफ 1916 द मेंबर ऑफ द होम रूल लीग गॉट अ गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी टू शो देयर स्ट्रेंथ। Tilak supporter even made it tradition on which the Congress rested for many years. His supporter reserved a train to reach Lucknow. Some called it Congress Special, while others called it Home Rule League Special. Arundale asked every member of the league to make every possible efforts to become a member of the Lucknow session. Immediately after the conclusion of the session, meeting of the both Home Rule League were held in a same pavilion, in which about 1,000 representatives participated. The Congress League agreement was passed. Tilak and Annie Besant addressed the meeting. Home rule movement was symbol of starting a new phase of freedom movement in India because A answer, it put a perfect project for the self-government before the nation. In the eye of the both leaders, the Home Rule movement, Tilak and Annie Besant, the meaning of the Swaraj was almost the same. Within the British Empire, there would be a maximum arrangement for responsible government and administration at the local, provincial and central level, like in other British colonies that had dominion status such as Canada and Australia. अब देखो भाई गांधीयन एरा के इसमें काफ़ी क्वेश्चन होने चाहिए और होंगे, वो हम बाद में करेंगे। अब मैं इसको पूर्ण विराम देता हूँ, ठीक है, 1 घंटा हो गया है।